close my blinds because I think that'll help with my lighting.
Hello and welcome to It's Not For You. This one's not even for Riley because I told her we were starting the stream and she goes, I'm gonna close my blinds.
I was trying to maybe fix my lighting a little bit because it looks like I had like a beam of light hitting the right side of my face.
Is your background a tent or a cave? I think it's a tent.
Yeah, it's the Ghost Lake.
For sure.
It's a tent on the lake. See?
For sure.
It doesn't. I keep leaning this way, and my camera keeps trying to adjust me and like move me manually this way, and I'm like, no, I want you to see.
Anyways. Hello, welcome to It's Not For You. Today, we're doing another book club on the Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake books short story game. Yay.
Yay.
If you're not Riley or I from the future, leave. I'm sorry. This is our own personal quest, and we just need to put it somewhere. Get out, respectively.
It's just for us.
Yeah.
Just for us.
Riles, can you tell me your feelings about the Yost Dogs of Moon Lake?
I would love to. Listen, I didn't want to give too much thoughts and feelings about it yesterday because I knew we were going to
Snapchat about these before we record them. And they're the weirdest conversations we have because it's like, I don't want to say too much, but
I have some thoughts.
Yeah, we're just not good at not sharing our thoughts. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was like kind of dreading this game because I had like, this game was nostalgic for me for a long time. And then I replayed it a few years ago and was disappointed. So when we like got to this game, I was kind of like, ugh, like I don't necessarily want to play this game. And then I played it and I didn't hate it. It's not as boring. You know what? No, I'm going to take that back. It is boring. Correct. For a few reasons. I'll just start by like kind of going over the story of the game.
Wait, hang on real quick. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
I had only played this game once before with you.
Yeah. And
I didn't remember this game at all. And by that I mean like in my memory this game was Whale World. Like I really believed the birds and the grubs was Whale World. Like I thought M's Emporium was in Whale World. Like all I remembered about this game was the cemetery and the speakeasy and falling through the floor in the first 4 seconds. I'm sitting there playing this game and I said to my husband, I was like, I don't remember this game at all. And every click I was like, oh, I do remember this game. I just thought it was a different one. And in fairness to me, the book cover really gave Whale World vibes.
It really does. It does.
So
because it's similar.
Yeah, no, I really was in for a very funny surprise when I started playing the game. Okay, now go ahead. Tell us about the game.
No, you're good. So the game takes place at this old gangster mobster's cabin, who, I mean, obviously it takes place like in the present, so he's not living there currently. It's owned by somebody. It's Sally who owns it, right? Yeah. Now I'm mixing up the girls who own the house from the book and the short story because I read those after.
I did that too this time. I started with the game. I normally start with the books. Yeah. But I didn't remember a single inch of this game, and so I was like, I think I have to play the game first.
Right. I usually start with the books because then they help me with the game. The books would not have helped me with this game, I don't think. But it is Sally. So Sally owns the house, and Nancy is supposed to go out to this house on this lake and have like a Goyle's weekend with her. But she gets there and Sally's not there anymore.
She gone.
Um, Nancy walks in the door and the phone is ringing. So Nancy just picks up the phone and it's Sally. And she's like, "Hey girl, I had to leave because I got spooked. Please don't hate me." And Nancy's like, what scared you? And Sally's like, "Get in your car and leave, please. You're in danger." And Nancy's like, "Great. Thanks for that. Why?" And Sally's like, we don't have time to talk, get in your car." And it's like, "I can't actually leave because my car's blocked in. Why am I in danger?" And Sally's like, "The dogs, the dogs." She's just keeps saying, "The dogs, the dogs, the dogs." And then the phone cuts. Followed by dogs attacking the house. Barking, snarling, jumping at the doors and windows, all the fun things. So that's your first impression of the game.
But
You
their
get in.
eyes and teeth are glowing, so they look
Yes.
like ghosts.
Yes. That's the only part about them that looks like ghosts. So it's a very weird visual.
I
Just
think
the
I
mouth
remember
and
saying the first time we played it, "Oh, look, puppies." And you were like, "No, Callie, they're ghost dogs." And I was like, "Nah, they puppies."
they puppies. Were we playing them? I'm like, "Those are just dogs."
They're just dogs. Actually,
they're,
excuse me.
they're just dogs. Um, So that's your first impression of the game. You walk into this house, you get on the phone with this very frantic, very terrified woman telling you to leave and that you're in danger, and then you're immediately in danger. And there's no locks on the doors or windows, apparently. So Nancy just goes up to bed. Like, that was the funniest part to me, was the dogs are throwing themselves at the house and you hear the doors and windows rattling, and Nancy just walks up the stairs and goes to sleep. And the next morning the game starts. So you're walking around the house. Sally's left all these notes about things to fix. Nancy is emboldened to fix these things herself, of course. And then you meet a cast of
But
characters
do you
on
know
your
she
first.
doesn't actually fix any of them?
She really doesn't. She just like half fixes them. Like
Yeah.
the floorboards are broken or rotted, so she grabs some random pieces of wood that she finds around the property and just nails them over the rotted floorboard. She
And
doesn't
like
take
not
them out.
even normal looking. They're like diagonal and crazy and
Yep, she just
whatevs.
throws it down and is like, "That's good," nails it in. Get the water. I guess technically Sally's note said get the water tested. Nancy did that. She didn't necessarily fix the water.
I'm just saying she didn't fix
Also,
the mice in the walls either.
she did not do that either.
She
But
found them. Did she do anything about it? No.
to be fair, Sally's note just said mice question mark. So Nancy, I guess, did the thing and figured out that they were. She answered the question, yes, there are mice in the walls. This house is amazing, by the way. Clearly.
Busted.
Mice in the
Dusted.
walls, arsenic in the water, rotting floorboards. Who would not want to live here?
A dream.
Yeah, I guess at some point, I know this is like a way a sidetrack, but at some point you're supposed to call Sally about the mice in the rotted, not the rotted floorboards, but the mice in the arsenic water. And I never did that. I talked to Sally exactly once when I was on the phone with her at the beginning, and then I never picked up the phone again until I had to at the end of the game.
I called her about the poison. I didn't call her about the mice. And the only reason I called her about the poison is because I couldn't get the cemetery rocks to give me the ding dang bugs.
Oh, so you thought it was like the trigger?
Yeah, I was like, what do I have to do to get the cemetery to gift me the bugs? Cry.
I
Was
know.
the answer.
I actually looked up on my phone. I have 11 bugs. How do I find the 12th one? And this is not an uncommon problem with the game. So for anybody who has never played this game, in order to get items from like that you need to accomplish tasks throughout the game, you don't have any money. So you strike up this deal with this lady at the general store, and she's like, "I'll give you tasks to do and chores to do in exchange for goods and services." Great. So one of the tasks she gives you is to find these bugs. And she asks you to find 12 of them, but you have to find them by looking under rocks and stuff. I found 11. I found like 6 of them in the morning when I went and looked for them. And then I went out at night and I found like 5 more. And then I made it morning again and I couldn't find the 12th one. So I sat on my phone for 20 minutes and I looked up, how do I find the 12th bug? And this is not an uncommon thing. This is like a problem in the game that people have, is that they can't find all the bugs. So it's not us.
Because
We're
it's
not
not that
stupid.
they randomly generate, it's that they generate in specific locations. So if you have already looked at that rock and you don't think you've looked at that rock because all the rocks look the same,
Yep.
there you have to find the correct rock, log, whatever, and it has to be the right time of day and blah 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 blah. My last rock wouldn't hotspot. Like, it was night and I needed the crickets, and for 4 nights I couldn't get the rock to hotspot. I knew where they were. I knew what to click on. It just wouldn't light up.
Yeah.
It was so
Mine,
annoying.
that's super frustrating. They were like under the log or something, weren't they? The crickets?
No, they were under the pile of rocks by the cemetery, but it wasn't that
Oh,
you were
they were
supposed to click on the big pile of rocks. It was you were supposed to click like in the grass
on the
near
one
the
tiny
big pile
one.
of rocks. Yeah.
There was one that was like,
So annoying.
I know. There are so many like times where I was walking through the forest and there were rocks like sitting on the ground that I couldn't click on. And I was like, if you picked those up, there would be bugs under them. Like,
In
I
real
just know
life,
there
yeah.
would be, but I can't click on it. The way I found the 12th bug was so when you first like enter the woods, there's 3 rocks on the ground.
You only clicked on 2 of
There's
them.
another spot in the woods that has 3 rocks on the ground in like a circle. And that's where I found the 12th one. I kept looking under those 3 and then like taking the paths around to find like the sporadic ones that were around. I knew they weren't under the cemetery ones because I checked that one like 15 times. But apparently there's another like crossroads area
Mm-hmm.
where there's 3 rocks.
I know exactly
And
what you're talking about.
yeah, it was under one of those. It was by like there's like a stone pillar that you use for no reason.
Yeah, it's just a landmark.
Yeah. So that was my least favorite part of the game, I would say. Is that and the birds. So you meet this cast of characters in the game. There's only 3 people, unlike the normal 5 or 6 people that you interact with in the Nancy Drew games. The first one is, I kind of already talked about her, the lady who owns the general store, Emily. She owns an M's Emporium, an antique store, and she basically like owns the general store for anybody who's out there seasonally or lives out there, go get supplies and stuff. But then she also has antiques, and she is adamant that she finds these antiques naturally. They just like wash up on the shore because dredging the lake and looking for antiques in the lake is illegal. So she says that she's found all these antiques naturally, but she's getting a lot of heat from this other character, Jeff Akers, who is the like
Park
state
ranger.
park ranger,
Yeah.
who plus mailman, plus like campus police officer, essentially. Jeff Akers is a little too serious about his job. He is, as we said, the park ranger, plus local historian, plus mailman. You go to him for essentially everything that you need, and he's not happy about that at all.
But he
does
kind
not want
of
to talk
is.
to
He
us.
likes to be needed.
He does, and he doesn't. Like the sass and the attitude that I got from him, just being like, are you here for another interrogation? You always ask this many questions. Was not needed, but you're right. He does like to be needed because there's not a lot happening at the lake. There's 3 other people there, and one of them is Nancy. So like,
And one of them just lives in a bird tent. So there's like
exactly.
one other person there.
Exactly. He's not doing anything. Like
Yeah.
he wants to uphold the rules of the state park just as much as Jeff Akers does. So it's really just Emily. It's like it's two-sided beef between Emily and Jeff Akers. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff is just there to have beef with Emily. That's really it.
Big facts.
So Jeff is the other character, and then we meet our third character, who is Red Knot, who only comes out at nighttime. He's a bird enthusiast, and he's there to bird watch, which I was thinking about, and I was like, wow, there are two eclectic, intense bird watchers in the Nancy Drew catalog. It's Red Knot and Guadalupe from the other dog game, the White Wolf of Ice
She's
Cream.
not really a bird watcher. She's an alien
She
watcher.
is.
She's
But
not there for the birds.
She's not. You are right. She's an alien watcher, but she gives her alias is bird watcher. That's what I remember her by.
True, but it's a lie. It's all a lie.
It's all a lie. So Nancy begins the game by trying to figure out what the deal is with these ghost dogs and figure out what these dogs are doing there. Why are they terrorizing Sally? And why are they like attacking the house every night? And you learn through the lore after talking to all of these different people that the house belonged to a gangster and bootlegger named Mickey Malone. And Mickey Malone used to host all these really big parties for all of these like high class, like old Hollywood musicians and actresses. Anybody who was anybody back in the 1920s would come to Mickey Malone's, and they would have these big roaring 20s parties. And Mickey Malone had this thing with his dogs. He was obsessed with them. And it's very apparent as you walk around the property and around the house that he was obsessed with these dogs because he has like statues of them everywhere. And he has like a clock where when the cuckoo clock chimes, the dog pops up in the little window. And when you go to the cemetery, there's these gravestones for these dogs. They're very, very big in Mickey Malone's life. There's also a local legend that Mickey Malone had gold somewhere buried on the property. And so Nancy, starting to piece things together, is like, I bet whoever's dealers these dogs are with is probably trying to figure out where this gold is located. As we continue to play the game and search for bugs and search for birds and talk to Emily and Jeff Akers mostly because Red Knot really doesn't know anything. He just supplies us with sandpaper. He really doesn't pose any other. He doesn't have any other like contribution to the game at all. We learned also that Mickey Malone's little cabin wasn't big enough for the parties. There was a speakeasy somewhere on the property. So then the goal becomes finding that speakeasy and hoping that that leads us to the dogs. We do end up finding the speakeasy. It is in the cemetery. And the way that you get into the cemetery, which I thought was hilarious, was Mickey Malone had a fake grave put up for the FBI agent that was trying to catch him. And you would put a little key in the gravestone, solve a little puzzle, and the staircase to the speakeasy would open up. And I just thought that that was very funny, that he took the time to make that.
The password to the speakeasy was changing the guy's name from Waldo to Baldo. Like, Homeboy was petty.
Yeah, he was very petty. And I like, it's so, I was telling Callie this yesterday. I've been listening to a lot of true crime lately, and one of the podcasts that I've been listening to, they really like old-timey crimes, like old Hollywood, 1920s, 1800s, 1940s, like the old, very like, I don't know, turn of the century crimes. And listening to the podcast and like the stories, it's not all like murder mysteries or anything like that. Sometimes it is bootleggers like Mickey Malone, and sometimes it's like bandits. I listened to one a few weeks ago called like the blonde-haired bandit, and it was this like 19-year-old girl in the 1920s who would go and like hold up grocery stores and steal the money out of their cash registers. It's like, it's stuff like that, and the like drama and the performance of it all back then when it came to crimes. It makes it so much more fun than like modern day crime. Um, and I feel like this game really like reflected that Mickey Malone wasn't just this like guy hiding booze and like a speakeasy and jewels and gold and stuff like in his house somewhere. There was the performative piece of it where like he didn't have to make a gravestone for the FBI agent that was coming to catch him, but he wanted to. And that was important to him. On top of like building a giant speakeasy under his house and multiple entrances to that speakeasy, he went the extra mile and he made that little gravestone and it made it so much more funny to me.
Well, let's talk about how that house is literally crumbling, literally falling apart. Like,
yeah,
you can fall through the floor, that thing. Speakeasy, perfect condition.
pristine, gorgeous, beautiful. I want to go hang out in there.
Yeah, you don't even have to take
Like,
the cobwebs away. I'm in. Seems fun.
I know. I would just go hang out there. It looked like it was perfect. It was shiny and new. Um, so Nancy finds the speakeasy and she, through reading various journals and finding pictures and learning the lore of Mickey Malone as she's trying to find the speakeasy and figure out like what Mickey Malone's deal was with the dogs and everything, she learns that he had made portraits or had portraits made of all of the dogs. And to find his gold, he had left a message to his girlfriend. She wasn't his wife in the game, but the girlfriend, I think Vivian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then also to his like right hand man, who was William Akers. And the message was the dogs will lead the way. Once we find the speakeasy, we find the portraits of the dogs. And we use those portraits with a map that we've also located to find. I'm trying to formulate this because it's so like there's so many steps to it. You have this map, you have the portraits of the dogs. You mark on the map where the dogs used to hang out based on what the portraits are showing. And then you find another passageway from the speakeasy to mosaics of the dogs that match those portraits. And you use the portraits in those locations to push in the mosaic tiles on the wall and find another secret passageway to where we find some like water storage.
It's
The
the well
arsenic
room,
water,
yeah.
I'm assuming. The boiler room. The arsenic water. It's just a tub of arsenic water. After draining the boiler, I guess,
Well,
Nancy, what?
it's the well room. You're draining the
The
well.
well room. Yes. After draining the well and finding yet another secret passage, Mickey Malone didn't play about these gold bars that he stole. You eventually find the gold bars. And what you didn't realize was
Under the
that
well.
under the well.
They're underneath the full of water well.
How they didn't get like wet somehow in the 100 years that they were sitting down there.
No, really though. I got a lot of questions about that.
Yeah. I had a lot of questions about the like practicality of this game. But like I kind of just put the logic away. This is where you leave logic at the door.
This is all
And
about the suspension of like disbelief, and I get it, but like, do they
yeah,
know that's not how gravity works? The well is full, and now all of a sudden the water's above my head. No, no.
yeah, that's not how it works. This is like I said, it's where you leave logic at the door and you enjoy the game. There's another podcast I listen to that talks about Star Wars, and there are a lot of like Star Wars episodes and shows and movies and stuff that like the plot gets lost in the episode, and one of their favorite sayings is "It's Fast and Furious Star Wars." Leave your logic, like leave it over there. It's Fast and Furious. It's just fun. It's just for fun. Like we don't need to to think about it too hard. So that was kind of like how I was thinking about the whole like where the gold was located and how that whole well mechanism worked the whole time. It's just for fun. It's Fast and Furious. Leave it at the door. We're just enjoying. So Nancy finds the gold, and what she doesn't realize is that somebody's been tailing her the whole time. When she tries to leave, she is pursued by Emily, the M's Emporium general store owner, who has been searching for the gold. And now that Nancy's found it, she's going to take the gold for herself. So Nancy has to try to figure out a way to get away from Emily. Otherwise, she's going to be trapped in the gold room with her, with this crazy woman who's been trying to attack her and find this gold and use her to locate it. So what Nancy does is she climbs down into the sewer grate in the gold room, runs underneath the gold room back into the water well, climbs back out so that she's behind Emily, and then locks Emily in the room, climbs up the well, and shuts the well door behind her, essentially locking Emily in there. And what I was thinking the whole time was, that's a pretty airtight room.
Hope the police
Couldn't
get there
Emily
fast.
suffocate in there? Huh?
Hope the police gets there fast.
Well, they get there fast. Again, it's Fast and Furious. Leave your logic at the door. We're having fun. The police get there. Apparently, Emily puts up a big old fight. She won't leave the gold room. She brings a bone down there, and she attacks the police officers with it because they're trying to take her away from their gold that we found. But they eventually apprehend her, and they bring her away. And Sally can then live out in her big old tiny little gangster cabin for the rest of her days without being harassed by ghost dogs anymore. The end.
And she adopts the puppies.
She does. I loved that part of it because finding the dogs, I forgot about that part. You find the dogs eventually, and they are just puppies. That's it.
They have glow in the dark.
They're just puppies. But it made me so sad because they were just in this big cage. And then you find like the supplies. There's like dog food and treats and stuff, and like a half-eaten pizza somewhere. But they've been trained to be vicious based on like a noise. It's not. You don't train a dog to be vicious by being nice to them, first of all. So that made me sad. And then like the thing that made their eyes glow, the thing that made their mouth glow was like toothpaste, but the thing that made their eyes glow was this weird harness that they would put on the dogs that like it looked like it covered their eyes and it would glow. It was like a flashlight. Mm-hmm. And that made me sad because I was like, get that off the dogs, please. What are we doing here? She like the lady Emily kept like a journal of her training the dogs and saying that they were like good girl, good boy. But I was still like, if you're training them to be vicious and mean, like dogs don't get trained to do that by being nice to them, usually. Unless you're like a police officer and have experience in training a dog to like attack.
Yeah.
So that made me sad. But I'm glad that Sally, like, they were sweet and Sally like adopted them, which then like makes it come full circle because Mickey Malone, who owned the house, loved the dogs and like had the 4 dogs that he lived with, and the whole house was basically like a tribute to them. And then Sally, the new owner, also has like 4 very similar looking dogs that are like also living in the house, which I think is very fun. Yeah. So tell me about the books. What were your thoughts? I liked the books more than the game, I think.
I agree.
But that's usually how it goes.
Except for when we like neither of them.
Except for when we
like neither of them. We have to remember that. No, this was our first double. Like this was our first double book situation, and I was pretty nervous about it because I was like, oh man, I don't know how we're gonna do this. And I know things like Secret of the Old Clock are coming up where there's literally 4 books. And so I was like pretty nervous. So it was a short story, Ghost Dogs of the Whispering Oak, and a whole novel, like Mystery by Moonlight or something. I forget what the name of the novel
Yeah.
is. But I was so impressed with the way that they were married together to essentially make the game. So
Yeah.
in the short story, it's part of Nancy Drew Ghost Stories, Ghost Dogs of the Whispering Oak. The girls, Nancy, Bess, and George, and their friend Sally are going to visit Sally's great grandparents' home. And Sally is married and she wants to be able to live there, but no one's been able to stay at the Whispering Oak past 9 p.m. since her great grandparents died, because her great grandparents had 4 Labradors, not little Rottweilers, Labradors, black labs that haunt the house. And the story that was told to them by the groundskeeper was that after her great grandparents died, the dogs died of broken hearts one by one, and they were buried out by the ice house. And when they finally found the will of her great grandparents, because it was allegedly missing, it stated that the dogs should be buried on the hill with her great grandparents. Well, they were already buried by the ice house. They weren't going to move them. So they put the tombstones up on the hill with the great grandparents. And that's when the first haunting occurred. Well, in the telling of this story, we also learned that, like, it's not just that the will was missing. It's that there were 4 solid gold statues of the dogs that were made that were never found.
Yeah.
And the scratching and the attacks of the dogs and all those things were so scary that everyone, when they come to visit the house, they leave by 9. So the girls are there, and as they're driving in, what do you know? A tree limb falls behind the car, so they can't leave. The tree limb was freshly cut down, though. Like, it was intended. It was clearly intended to fall in their car. And they're like, okay, we're here. Somebody wants us here. We'll figure it out. Sally's husband is coming in later. There's 2 groundskeepers on the property. That's it.
Yeah.
No electricity, no running water, no cell phone. That's it. Okay?
That's it.
So they stay over the house. They get haunted by the ghost dogs. Nancy's first immediate thought after the haunting is, gotta go outside, gotta see that. And Sally's like, no, you're gonna die. And Nancy's like, I'll wait till morning. She didn't sleep. She's up with the sun. She's outside. She's going exploring. And what do you know? She gets bonked over the head and thrown in the bottom of the ice house.
The amount of times Nancy gets bonked over the head and, like, gets up,
dude,
fully functional, needs to be studied.
in the novel for this one, I think this is her most concussed book. But we'll get there.
Yeah, I would agree. So far, at least.
So far, yeah, so far.
So far.
The girls come pull her out of the ice house. Sally is distraught. And Nancy's like, nah, it's fine. Gotta figure it out. So they go looking around. They find the tombstones of the dogs. The dogs have the weirdest names ever. But most importantly, they find the tombstones of Sally's grandparents. That says something to the effect of, like, we will be found in the things that we love. And Nancy's like, great, what do they love? And she's like, oh, they love books, and they love gardens, and they love dogs, and they love whatever. Horses. How could I forget? And they're like, great. They go back to the house, and Nancy's like, what's behind those doors? I got questions. And she's like, oh, it's the library. They loved reading. And they open the library, and the bookshelves are labeled, like, gardens, dogs, horses. And they're all like, yeah, you were totally right about the things your grandparents love. That's crazy. And then Bess is like, how come the dogs were named something so weird? And she's like, I don't know. It's so weird.
It's so weird.
Oh, crazy. And Nancy's like, great. Let's make a trap. I think the ghosts are trying to come in to show us where the dog statues are. So I want to find a way to hide outside to watch the ghosts. And Sally's like, no. And Nancy's like, I'm doing it. I'm like, everyone needs a nap. Everyone calm down.
Everybody needs to calm down.
Everybody needs.
That's what I thought the whole short story was like.
Everybody needs to calm
Everybody's
down.
energy is here. We need to bring it down.
Yeah, sorry. I need you to run that by me one more time. Try it 2% chiller. Like
2%. Or more would be ideal.
So much more chiller. I need us to calm down. So Nancy makes this plan. It gets dark. The ghost dogs appear over the grave. But then all of a sudden, two of them disappear. And Nancy gets badonked over the head. Just whoosh.
Of course she does.
She wakes up tied up in a closet. And
with George.
With George. Yeah, I've got a ghost cat behind me. You can't see Milo right now, but he literally looks like a cat made of sunlight. It's very funny.
That's awesome.
This is my little ghost cat. Hi, buddy. Yeah, you're very cute. I agree. Anyway, so they're tied up in the closet, and they overhear the two groundskeepers arguing, and one of them's like, that Drew girl's gonna find the gold before we do. We have to kill her. And the other guy's like, no, I'm out. I don't want to be involved in this. And he's like, we've been searching our whole lives for the gold. We have to kill her. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. I can't, first of all, I can't believe you hit her. That was unacceptable. I can't believe you threw her down an ice house. What a jerk. We're not doing this, actually. No. And he's like, we're going to set the house on fire. And then we're going to go get those dogs. And Nancy realizes that she's actually not tied up that well. She just, like, unties herself super easily. And then she unties George. And she hears the, like, glug, 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 glug of something being soaked in something.
Yeah.
And she smells the smoke. And she goes, oh, my gosh, they're committing arson. We're gonna die. She gets her and George. She quick puts out the fire and realizes that the reasonable brother soaked the house in water to make a fake fire because he doesn't want to hurt anybody.
Yes.
So they go running out of the groundskeeper's house back to Sally's house where they see the crazy brother with an axe over his head getting attacked by the other brother, and he's holding a book. And the police arrive. Sally's husband arrives to save the day. Oh my gosh. And we learn that, like, the groundskeepers are the sons of the original groundskeeper. And when the great-grandparents died, he spent all this time looking for the gold dog so that he could get rich. He hid the will, but he couldn't find it. So he came up with this ghost dogs plan to keep people away from the property so that he could look for the dogs unchecked. And when he passed away, his older son took up the mantle, and then the younger son started helping too. And essentially, they just get decked out in all black, put little light-up gloves on their hands, and pretend to be dogs, use a speaker, make some sounds. And that's what Nancy saw, that when she got knocked out. She saw that it was a man with two little puppets that glowed in the dark. So they get all hauled off, and everyone's standing around in the library, and Nancy's like, guys, I think they were onto something. Let's write out the names of the dogs. And lo and behold, unscrambled, I bet you can't guess what the dogs' names are. Gardens, horses, books, dogs. And guess where else we've seen those words on the bookshelves? No way. Giant dog statues behind the bookshelves. Hooray, they're rich in solid gold dogs.
Hooray.
Hooray. So that's like the ghost dogs part of the game. Like pretty near verbatim. Like,
yeah.
Dogs lead you to the treasure, whatever, okay?
Yeah.
Here's where the book comes in. Okay, Ned and Nance are going on a little staycation to Moonlight Lake with George and Bess, who are watching over George's aunt's summer home.
Yes.
Okay? Their summer home was part of the old Malone house, but over time got sold off and parceled somewhere else. So like my house is really old. If you look at the abstract for my house, the original owners of my house owned the entire block that I live on. But over time they sold off parts of that block and other houses went up on it. So like we could claim like, oh, I used to own all of this block, but now I only own this part of my house. Same thing, right? Like the person who owns the Malone house would have at one time owned the summer house, but it got sold off later.
Yeah.
And now she doesn't own that part anymore. They find out that their neighbor, the person who owns the old Malone house and its accompanying boathouse, is a woman named Emily. She is an investigative journalist. She's super friendly. She's really nice. She comes over to say hi, right? Hey, girls, welcome. Ooh, hello. Just as Ned and Nancy are getting out of the car, they get attacked by a ghost, a bear, a dog. It's just a big dog off leash.
A big dog.
That knocks Nancy over. And they hear this woman screaming, and these two intense bird watchers come out like, you need to take care of your dog. And they're like, it's not our dog. Yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, not more young people. You're going to throw parties and scare off the birds. We hate you, young people, and your loud parties. And Bess and George are like, we've been here for 2 weeks, and all we've done is bake brownies.
Yeah, seriously.
Why are we getting yelled at? And then this angry guy comes on a motorcycle like, Tiny, that's the dog's name. Get over here. And the dog's like, yay, I have so many friends. And then he's like yelling at the bird watchers, yelling at Ned and Nancy. Ned, Nancy, and George and Bess are like, what? This is our house. Go away. We haven't done anything to you. Why are you yelling at us?
Why are you in our yard yelling at us?
Literally. Like, what's going on? And then they leave. It was like, okay. Emily comes over. It's nice. Bess lets everyone in on like, hey, just so you know, like, we've been hearing this weird screaming. We've been hearing scratching. We've been hearing sounds in the attic, but there's no attic. Like, we've been hearing all this stuff. It's been really crazy. I think it's a ghost. George is like, dude, it's an old house.
It's making old house noises. It's
fine. You gotta calm down. And Ned's like, yeah, buddy, I bet there's just mice in the walls. And she's like, yeah. It's like, okay, again, turn it down.
Energy down.
Turn it down. Everyone calm down. They would go to bed. The next day, you know, Nancy goes for a little swim with Ned. They notice at night that there's like this suspicious boat that's kind of like going back and forth. Like, it's weird. And then people start breaking into their house.
Yeah.
Like, people start breaking in and prying up floorboards. And it doesn't seem like there's anything under the floorboard, but it's clear from like the new nails that this has happened several times recently. That like someone has access to this house even when people aren't in it. And that's real suspicious. They go to town. They go to the general store. Same thing. It's got that like antiques, but the antiques come from the lake. And the history of Moon Lake is that it was once a town, and then they built a dam that flooded the town to make Moon Lake. And so, like, people's homes and artifacts and things are underneath this lake still. Because it's not like they dismantled the town. They just flooded it. On top of that, it used to be, like, ceremonial ground for Native Americans who lived on this like Lenape Creek that then became Moonlight Lake because they dammed up the creek to make the lake. And in this like store, you find this extremely hostile activist who flirts with Bess and then realizes she's on part of the old Malone property, not the main house, the guest house. They're a separate entity. And then he's all of a sudden so rude and like
very hostile.
And like busts out of there. And everyone's like, okay, great.
All right.
And when they go home and find out the floorboards have been lifted up, they're like, it was him. He left and we saw him on the road coming back. He did it. And then
Tim gets, or Jim. It's Jim. There's Jim and Tim in this book, which made things confusing sometimes.
So unfortunate.
But Jim got scapegoated a lot during this book.
He was super cranky, so that's on
He
him,
was super
I
cranky
guess.
and unreasonable sometimes,
like,
but he got scapegoated a lot.
It was also that he was carrying a knife. Like, he had a hunting knife, and Nancy was like, he had a knife? He broke into our house? Like, bro. He hung
It's like, girl, he lives off the land sometimes. Like, let the guy have a hunting knife.
I'm sorry. You there's a forest next to you. A hunting knife might not be a bad thing
Literally,
for you to have.
that he is often seen in.
The forest.
The forest.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, they come back. Jim almost runs them over going on a one-way street, and he's like, if you don't know the roads, get off. They get back to the house. Emily comes running out of the house. She's like, someone was in here. You weren't in here, and they robbed you. And they're like, oh my gosh. She's like, they just left. I chased them off. Did you see anyone? And they were like, well, we saw Jim 5 minutes ago, but that certainly wouldn't be just left. Like,
yeah.
We were jamming to our salsa music for the last 5 minutes. What do you mean?
Yeah, what was that?
Okay. Do you think Caroline was like, I just want to make Nancy seem kind of cool. She likes salsa. Also, the dinner they made on the night they got there was lamb and mint jelly. Did you notice that?
In the short story.
No. Oh yeah, in the short story. Lamb and mint jelly. Crazy.
On the wood burning stove.
No, you didn't make that on the wood burning stove. That's crazy.
Exactly.
Anyway.
I was like, wait, hold on a second. Like, you guys just spent hours cleaning and like unpacking and getting settled into this house that has outdated appliances, and you made a gourmet meal for dinner.
No,
you didn't like just make sandwiches and chips and call it a day. Like,
no, really.
Excuse me. What is going on? Carolyn, I feel like just was having fun.
I don't know. Carolyn was hungry. I don't know.
She was. No, I thought about that when we were reading the book. I was like, she mentions food in every chapter.
She was hungry.
Must have been. She was hungry. It was either they were going on a picnic or they were making brownies or, something. Hot dogs and chips. And I was like, look, I have to be on this weird ass, like, super bland diet right now. And Carolyn. And I can't have anything for 5 more days. And I'm starving, and this is not helping.
No.
Let's go pick up a pizza in town. And I was like, Nancy, I swear.
This really gives to me. One time in college, I got a C on a paper. And on top of it, my favorite professor wrote, you were tired when you wrote this. And it shows. As I was reading this book, I was like, Caroline, you were hungry when you wrote this, and it shows. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I really understand that comment now. Like,
I was so annoyed the whole time I was reading the book because I was like, oh my god, she mentioned something else that I want to eat right now. And I can't. And the best is like the brownies, the hot dogs, the chips, and I was like, oh, I could go for some chips right now.
Okay, we gotta stop. You're not doing anything good for yourself.
The pizza was really what got me. Like, it was literally one sentence that was like, let's go to town, and then like we'll pick up a pizza on the way home. And I was like, I just want pizza. I just want to eat some cheese. Yeah, Caroline, you were hungry when you wrote that, and it shows.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's okay, honey. You don't have to explain yourself. We know. It shows.
I know.
Anyway, they get back to the house. They realize, like, nothing major has been stolen. The floorboards are just pulled up. And then this guy shows up for Emily. He's like, hey, Emily, it's me. And she's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
You have to.
She was not happy to see him.
He was so jazzed to see her, though.
I know.
His name's Robbie.
I thought he was...
Super conveniently, he's doing research on lakes that get flooded over towns with electricity. That's his research project. And he's like, she's the best researcher. She's researching gangsters. You know, this house used to be owned by Mike Malone. Did you know that? He was a gangster. And she's like, what? Why would you say that? No, I don't know anything about him. I'm only researching Al Capone from Chicago. I'm only specializing in the Midwest. I don't know anything. Why would you say that?
Seriously, she was so worked up about it so quickly. She was so sketchy the
The
whole
whole
game
book.
or the whole book.
It was just a little too convenient the way she was like always involved. Anyway,
Yeah, well, even her reaction to Ravi, like him being like, "Oh, she's really good at researching, and she's got this cool documentary she's working on." She's like, "I'm not working on a documentary. I don't know what you're talking about." And he's like, "Yes, you are."
dude, I watched it. We
I
graduated
watched
together.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then she got like offended when they watched like a gangster movie.
filmed at her house. It was filmed at her house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was like offended by it, and I was like, "Why is that offensive?"
Yeah, I
I
didn't.
watched a movie once that was filmed in St. Charles, and I didn't know it was filmed in St. Charles until I watched the movie. And when it got to the part where it was in St. Charles, I was like, "Oh, that street looks really familiar." And then I saw the Baker Hotel, and I was like, "Wait a second, I know that town. I go there all the time." Like, I was super jazzed about it. Why would it be offensive to watch a movie that was filmed in a familiar place? Unless you got some sketchy biz going on.
Yeah. So they like leave the movie. It's awkward. It's tense. They see that like sketchy boat going by again. They see it
Yeah.
going by. Nancy goes to bed. She wakes up in the middle of the night because there's sounds above her. Like there's something going on above her. She's like, but there's no attic. There can't be something going on above my room. Well, so she moves her armoire and realizes there's an attic. Surprise! She goes up there. She gets locked in there. She has to scream and pound on the walls for somebody to come let her out. She like is trying to chase the prowler, ends up in the woods, gets caught in the bird watching people's bird trap. They're pissed. They're not happy. She hears them screaming about how they gotta do something more drastic about all these kids and that summer camp owner and bloopity bloopity bloop. And she's like, maybe the more drastic thing they're doing is prowling in the house. And then she sees Jim.
Jim.
Jim's the prowler. He's not.
He's
She goes back inside. She checks out the attic that she found, finds all these like 1920s dresses, all these like jewelry, all these things, and she finds letters from Mike Malone to his fiance Tuesdays and Thursdays every week for years. And she reads them. They're beautiful. They're so sweet. He loves her. He's telling her details about crimes. So the next day she goes into town to go to the Historical Society, and the Historical Society's closed. So she goes to the Native American History Museum instead, and guess who's there? Jim. But he's so pleasant because she's looking at his little diorama, and she loves it. And she realizes that, like, oh, there was like a little beaver lake, and oh, here's the old house and all the lands, and that's so nice. And he's like, yeah, I'm working on the other diorama for when it closed, like when the lake came in, and it's not finished, but she's looking at it. The boathouse isn't included, and she's like, oh, what do these pins mean? And he's like, none of your business. And then the lady she's there to meet with,
for like no reason.
It's so weird. Then the lady he's there to meet with shows up, and she's like, oh, hi, I'm here to meet with you. And they like read through the letters. They try to look for the old boathouse plans, because as they're looking through those letters, they learn two things. One, that Mike Malone knew that they were going to flood the valley and started to build the boathouse before the valley was flooded, because somehow he knew. The second thing that they learn is that just casually, like 2 weeks of the letters are missing. They have 2 years worth of letters, and just 2 weeks of them are gone. So she goes back. She's really excited to tell all the people. All the people aren't there. She's like, you know what? I'll tell Emily. She'll be so jazzed about the letters. So she like goes looking for Emily. There's construction guys on hand. And she's like, oh, I bet they're in the boathouse because they're renovating the boathouse. And she goes in. She sees their coffee still there. And lo and behold, she finds the original 1923 plans for the boathouse. And she's just looking at them because it's so neat. She gets whacked over the head. So then she wakes up and Emily's there and the plans are missing. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get them redrawn. And that's so expensive. And I don't have any money. And they just want me to default on my mortgage so they can steal it away from me. And Nancy's like, I found letters. But some of them are missing. But I found letters. And she's like, well, how do you know that some of them are missing? And she's like, oh, because they're in order and just 2 weeks are missing. But it's great. But I bet if you asked George's aunt, like, she would let you use them in your documentary. And she's like, oh, wow, thanks, Nancy. That's really nice of you. Guess you better be going now.
Bye.
Bye. And then George and Ned and Bess come back and they're like, with Ravi, and they're like, we're going on a picnic. Get your suit on. We're kayaking across the lake to the island. We're going to watch the sunset. Let's go. Get your suit. It's time. And so they do that. But Ravi can't go because he's going to interview this lady who has been alive 5 ever and was there when the lake flooded. And she has details, but he has to leave right now because she's only willing to meet with him at 9:30 in the morning and she lives far away. But don't worry, Em comes too. And while they're there, Nancy sees that suspicious boat go to Emily's dock and someone gets out and goes in her house. And she's like, Emily, someone's in your house. Don't you see it? And she's like, no, I don't see that, actually. I think you're just making it up. And she's like, no, I saw it. Like, we have to get back. Someone's in your house. And she's like, okay.
She's like, who cares? She literally, her whole attitude whenever anything was happening was, who cares?
Unless it was happening in George's aunt's house, then it was like, oh my gosh, the world is ending.
Yeah.
It was so weird. So they get back, and Nancy feels bad. She's worried about her because her boathouse got broken into, and then her house got broken into, and so she goes to Emily's house to be like, hey, I just want to make sure you're okay. And what does she find there but some scuba gear and some wet artifacts and the landscaping guy? And she's like, I'm just here to see if you're okay. I just didn't want you to be alone. I thought maybe. And she's like, that's why I asked him here, so that I'm not alone. We're good. Bye. And Nancy's like,
yeah, bye.
Nancy's like, okay. I'm pretty sure that guy clocked me over the head earlier, but okay. And then she leaves.
If you insist, I guess I'll leave. Like,
yeah. And then she sees the boat. She sees the boat go past again. Ravi comes back the next day and he's like, guess what I learned? Mike Malone had a treasure. It's somewhere. Hooray.
hooray.
Hooray. And Nancy's like, okay, cool. She goes like walking around in the woods. She finds Jim's leaving these little like mile markers all over the place. She finds his hunting knife up in like a bird watching blind. She takes it because she's afraid he's going to be violent with his hunting knife.
So she just steals it.
She just steals it. As night falls, Nancy's real sick of this prowler, and she sees that creepy boat go slowly past. So she hops in a canoe to follow the creepy boat. And then, as they're going past the summer camp, someone has loosed all the summer camp water vessels, and they're crashing into her canoe, and she thinks she's going to fall over, and all of a sudden, come out of a canoe because they were laying down in the bottom of it, someone jumps up and tries to drown her. And then she tries to get out of the water, so they hit her over the head again.
This is like a combined 3 stories. She's been hit over the head 3 times.
Well, and the dog hit her in the head. We can't forget that.
And the
part.
dog hit her in the head 4 times. She's been hit in the head.
And she got hit in the head when she was put in the ice house, so it's actually 5 times. You're missing a lot of head hits here. The most concussed Nancy has ever been.
In this entire storyline.
Literally. She also got whacked pretty hard when she fell over the screeching owl trap.
She did. Yes. If we're including the game as well, she does get hit over the head when she's taking a picture of the bird.
Yeah, and almost burned alive. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So concussed.
Not the point. No, so she gets whacked. She gets, like, pulled out of the water. by Jim. And Jim's like, are you okay? And she's like, how'd you get your hunting knife back? I stole it. And he's like, what are you
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't, Nancy. What do you think I do with this? I'm outside. I'm not hurting people with a hunting knife. I just traipse around the woods a lot. I need protection from animals. What?
Right. He's like, I cut ropes and branches with this, not people. And she's like, I'm not convinced. Girl,
Just save you from drowning.
Where are we?
So he's like, I saw the creepy dudes who've been helping Emily. And she's like, what creepy dudes? They're the construction workers. And he's like, no, they're criminals. Actually. And she's like, oh no, I have to help Emily. And they go like running across the state park to try to find Emily. She sees sketchy guy number 1 come out of the water holding a box, and Emily's jumping up and down like, you found it, you found it, you found it. And she's got a key, and right up behind her is sketchy guy number 2 who's coming to hit her over the head with a log, and Nancy tackles him to the ground, and Jim punches him, and like, everyone needs to calm down.
She really like grabbed a mitt and got in the game at the end there. I really did enjoy his contributions at the end of the
literally this is bizarre. So then, you know, sketchy guy number 1's dragging Emily off into the forest, and then Nancy and Jim go and rescue her, and then she's running and she's like, I found it, it's a treasure, it's mine. And she trips and these jewels go splaying all over the place and a locket, and the police show up because Ned and Bess and George are concerned when Nancy just runs away into the night and never comes back.
Yeah.
And so they like arrest Emily, and she's like, these jewels are mine. And Nancy's like, no, they were found in the state park. Like, they weren't found on your property. They're not yours. And she's like, my great grandmother was the wife of Mickey Malone. And she's like, okay, but these aren't yours. They weren't
found on your property.
And they're stolen, except for the one locket. Like, that one locket could be yours, but you can't have all these jewels that he stole from other people. Like, that also weren't found on your property. No, they're not yours. She's like, I'm going to fill out a receipt because these are mine. No.
No, baby.
No, honey. No. I do like to believe she gets to keep the locket, though. I'm okay with that.
I think the locket was hers.
No, the locket fell out of the box.
Oh, it did?
It had a picture of her great-great-great-grandmother in it.
Got it. I would hope that she got to keep that at least. If she had like a picture, I think, because it said that she had a picture of the great grandmother in her possession as well, that like they could match up.
Yeah.
They would hope that she got to keep that.
Yeah, that just
but she really like
hers.
Something that I found very consistent between the two Emilys was that the second they realized that like Nancy had gotten the upper hand and like the treasure was in danger of not being in their hands anymore,
it's mine.
They turned into toddlers.
It's so bizarre.
Emily in the book was like crying about it and like, it's mine, like whining. And then Emily in the game was like also kind of whining, but threw like a physical tantrum, like attacked the police officers and refused to leave. Like when a toddler doesn't want to go somewhere and they like dead drop on the ground.
No, literally. Yeah.
And I was like, are we adults here? Like, where are we?
Clearly. Okay, so this resolves. We find out a couple of things. One, Jim's skulking through the wilderness he was trying to like mark different spiritual sites that were important to the Lenape people, because he's hoping to be able to have like a dedicated memorial land that's theirs, and he hopes it's like trail, like he wants it to be like a trail shaped land, not like here's your beach, so that like people can learn the history of the Lenape people. So that's why he's skulking around in the wilderness. He's trying to make this land. He's not being a prowler. He's on his own mission. No one's surprised except for Nancy.
Right. Because he has like an active court case.
Yes.
For Native American rights.
Yes. He's not attacking anyone. He's literally trying to put down land markers.
Exactly.
The man is on his own mission. He's not interested in y'all.
He
We
really like. I think that's why they don't like him because he's so unbothered. Like he doesn't want anything to do with anybody,
I know.
and yet like everybody else is like, but why not though?
I know.
Like everybody always wants to be in our business, so like why don't you? And he's like, I just want to put down my rocks, and she's like, but your hunting knife, and he's like, it's not for you actually.
They kept calling them fetishes. Like
I know
he's
what the
making
hell was that?
fetishes.
I
I was
was
like,
like,
no,
that's not what that
that's
is,
not
girl.
the right word, Caroline.
The times really shone through in these books. I feel like the times that
Oh
they were
yeah.
written.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, oh, these are
This book is old and it shows.
older,
Yeah.
older.
This book is old and it shows.
We've
Um,
learned something from that since then.
yeah. So his whole situation resolved. The Mike Malone situation is that he used to own like all of the land all the way up to the state park, and he knew that one, the feds were after him, and two, that they were going to flood the town. So he hid the jewels from a heist in a spot that he knew was going to be flooded over, so that, and left instructions about how to find it so that his family could find it. Well, Mike Malone died in prison. His wife died shortly thereafter, leaving behind a young son who was adopted, and that young son is Emily's dad.
Yeah.
And so she found out about all this through her research on Al Capone for her documentary, and she bought the house in hopes of finding the lost treasure that was her grandfather's.
Yeah.
All that we find out. Additionally, the book ends in maybe the funniest way a Nancy Drew book has ever ended, where the creepy bird watching people show up with a cake and an apology for being absolute jerks to them. And as a peace offering, they give Nancy the picture of her taken by the automatic camera when she tripped over the screeching owl trap.
Yeah. I also thought that was very funny.
I wish that they had like illustrated it, you know?
I know. I wonder if like in the old original, because I read it on my phone, if they like in a physical copy of the book they have like
I have a
illustration.
physical copy. There's no illustration.
No.
Yeah. So sorry.
Darn.
So sorry. That being said, like I think that the book and the short story were like perfectly married in the game. Like I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
Even to the point of like in the book it's Moonlight Lake and in the game it's Moon Lake. Like
Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
I agree. I think they could have. I mean, and I think this game is a victim to the limitations of the animation software that Her Interactive had. But there's so much more that they could have added to make it as exciting as the book. Like,
oh, for sure.
Like, where was Jim?
Where was Jim?
In the game.
I know.
I would have loved to talk to Jim in the game. And he would have been like such a like he was the scapegoat in the book. He would have been a perfect scapegoat in the game. Like we would have thought it was him, and then it's because there's usually that's what it is. Like in the Nancy Drew game, there's somebody who you think is the person, and then it ends up being somebody else. The whole there were 3 people that you could talk to. It wasn't Red Knot because he didn't contribute anything.
Yeah. And they tried to throw some suspicion on Jeff Akers because they gave him a dog.
Yeah, that didn't look like any of the other dogs. If it was a Rottweiler, sure, I would maybe be more inclined to suspect him. But it wasn't.
No.
It was like a fluffy dog. And it was sleepy and not like jumping up and down with glowing red eyes or glowing yellow eyes. They did try to throw some suspicion onto Jeff Akers, but they didn't. And then Emily was the last person, and she was the one who was like, I get all these artifacts from the lake, and I'm always looking for these little treasures, and everybody thinks I'm doing it illegally, but they can't prove it. Like, that was her whole thing. They can't prove anything from the get. And I was like,
so it's you.
So it's you.
I'm going to prove it.
You're not saying that you do it legally. you're saying that other people have accused you of doing it illegally and they just can't prove it.
Cool.
So it's you.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't remember anything about the game, but I walked into M's Emporium. I was like, I think it's her. Like, I think I remember it being her. And Ryan was like,
too.
okay.
Because I also didn't remember who it was. There's only a couple games that I don't remember who the culprit is. And this was one of them until I walked in there. And I was like, oh, yeah, it was this lady. Because it wasn't Red Knot. And I knew it wasn't Jeff Akers. So we could have had Jim in the game. I think they could have incorporated some of the like Lenape tribe stuff into the game more, because it like they talked about it very, 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 very shortly. It was on the computer. You could go read about how the land used to belong to the Lenape tribe.
It's Lenape.
Or Lenape. Lenape. Yeah. However you say it.
I'm just not
but that was the only thing that they included in it. What?
I'm just not trying to have you listen to this later and be like, I sound like a Chicagoan.
I do sound like a Chicagoan.
Lenape.
My accent. They like could have incorporated more of the Native American piece to it because it was such a big part of the book. Like, instead of looking for bugs, can we look for arrowheads?
For real, like that would have been fun. Or also just again, like really a victim of the availability. Like, can the bugs randomly generate? Like, if you go to bed and wake up, can there be a bug in a spot that the bug was already before? Like, I think that would be okay.
I think the bottom line is that we're just upset about the bugs.
Well, really the bottom line for me is that like this game had 2 puzzles in it.
It did. And
I love a puzzle, and truthfully, like when we play the games for book club, I don't play them. I like play them with the game boomers up because I'm trying to get the story of the game, not the fun of playing the game. But like,
yeah,
I love the story of this game. I think it's really neat. I don't know that I would choose to play this one again because I have no motivation to do so. There's no puzzles. It's just a go seek find, and like,
yeah,
it's not a reasonable go seek find. It's like a wildly conditional one. And I'm just like not into that, you know?
Yeah. And I like what's sad to me is that like the premise is so cool. Like,
yeah,
it's a gangster bootlegging like mobster guy and his gal, who ran this amazing, like really cool secretive speakeasy that we don't get to see until the end of the game and don't get to spend too much time in. And it is really just like that's what we're finding. Yeah. It's go seek find the speakeasy and then go seek find the gold.
Yeah. Not a lot of puzzles.
But they took out all of those elements and replaced it with like go find birds, go find bugs.
Yeah, I mean really like most of this game was teaching kids the Roman numeral number system, which like good on you. Yeah. It's good for kids to know. But then there was really only 2 puzzles, the spigot and then the logic puzzle of the map and Baldo. But like, okay, those 3 puzzles are very short and they are in the last, what is truly in my playtime, like 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Like this game took me 4 hours and I got to do 3 puzzles in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it had a lot of potential. I think if it was remade, like changes that they could make would be to like, because in the book it's 2 buildings. It's the summer house and then the old Malone house.
It's
it would be cool if
and the boathouse.
And the boathouse, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to incorporate at least one of those other things.
Yep.
And then maybe be like, oh, you can get into the kind of like how in Old Clock you have
the weirdo's house. Yeah.
And then the weirdo's house, and then there's the tunnel that connects them. Yeah. Like, you can get to the speakeasy from either house.
Yeah.
Or you can get to the speakeasy from one of those houses. Like, whatever. I like, have it be that. You know, give us another location besides the cabin and the woods, and add more characters, because there's usually, like, at least 5.
I mean, honestly, like, Delmonico, the camp guy, like, he he should have been scapegoated way more. Like, the amount of times Nancy was like, it's Jim. I was like, have you considered the hostile guy who wanted to buy this land who couldn't? Have
Yeah.
we thought about him at all? Like,
who the dog was prowling the day that you arrived there?
yeah, no, we didn't think about him at all. I was like, girl, you're scapegoating. This really is like, hey, Nancy, let's put aside some biases here. Every once in a while we read a book and I'm like, Nance, we got too much bias. We got to calm down.
Yeah, this was the first book that I think, like, I read it and I was like, Nancy's not being very logical.
That's not true. We read another one where we were like,
which one was that?
We have them recorded. You can go figure it out because I don't remember either. But I do remember having a similar conversation about, like, I knew the whole time. Why didn't she know? Like,
yeah, maybe it was. I feel like it was Treasure in a Royal Tower. I just have a feeling.
I don't think it was Treasure in a Royal Tower because I remember talking about how much we loved the book.
Oh, we did like the book.
Anyway, not the point.
Anyway.
No, I agree. Like, every once in a while we read the book and we play the game and we're like, I want them to take another pass at this one. I want them to take another pass at this one. Like, I don't want it remastered. I want Ghost Dogs of
Moonlight, them to redo it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that we should write down a list and be like, her interactive. Here's the books.
Yeah.
Read them. Go again. Give it to me one more time.
Try it again.
Hit me, baby, one more time. Don't reanimate the speakeasy. It's perfect. Everything else, hit me, baby, one more time.
No, literally, the speakeasy was absolutely perfect. I wish we could have explored it more.
I love the art on the walls.
The art on the walls, the stage with all the old instruments.
The dartboard with Waldo on it.
Yeah. What made it perfect for me was that it wasn't like a kid version of a speakeasy. No. There were spigots and like bar.
There was a giant dog head over the bar and it was labeled the Boneyard. I didn't notice that the last time we played.
Yep.
It was awesome.
There were bullet holes in the wall.
Oh yeah, I noticed that too.
Part of the speakeasy that like you can't click on, but it was just like an added detail.
Oh yeah.
Of like gangsters used to hang out here and they were drinking a lot and probably emotions got high at one point and shots were fired in this bar. Yeah. Or this could have been when Malone
got arrested.
Like it's open for interpretation. Like when he got arrested,
no,
did the
he was
police
arrested
fire
in his
on
pajamas. It said in one of the articles, like,
and nobody would have found the speakeasy. So yeah, it would have been like just some bootleggers or like
just got a lot of hands.
It was all like old Hollywood people. So it was all these high class people that like emotions got high at some point and somebody shot at somebody else. Like there was that. There were the portraits that you hear about earlier in the game. There were there was the the dartboard of Baldo. Like that, it was so like perfectly done.
Oh yeah.
All of the animation money went into that speakeasy.
Oh, it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. There are times where I'll like watch an episode of an animated TV show. And I'm like, the episode or like part of a movie is boring in itself, or like the animation's not that great, and then you get to a certain part
and you're like
where the animation is like perfect and beautiful and colorful and amazing, and I'm like, oh, that's where all the money went.
Yeah. I found the budget. That's what the speakeasy was. That's why there were no other characters. That's why there were no other dog incidents. Like we had just the one incident at the beginning. The budget went into the speakeasy. Yeah. And you know what? When you redo it, her interactive, just keep it that way. Like, keep the speakeasy, except let me walk around it more because I want to dink around on the piano. Yeah, I felt like there could have been some there could have been more good puzzles in there.
Right.
Anyway.
There could have been more puzzles in the speakeasy because there really weren't any. It was just you walked in there, looked around. You did the one on, like, the draft spigots, like whatever beers he had on draft, and then like that was it. And then you didn't get to enjoy it that much.
He always had a white oak ale on tap for me, is what the old lady said. Oh wait, that's a callback to the story. Ghost Dogs of White Oak, of the Whispering Oak.
Yeah,
that's neat. I have really bad news for you, just so you know.
What?
The next one's Haunted Carousel.
I know, you told me. That's my least favorite Nancy Drew game ever.
What if the book's awesome? Like, remember when we read Treasure in a Royal Tower and we were like, this game's kind of tough, but the book's awesome?
Yeah. I would love for the book to be awesome. I don't like Carousel. I think it's boring, but I also like, I'm a person who very much leans more towards like a preference of the spooky games. So like, I mean, Thornton Hall is my favorite of all the Nancy Drew games, and like
Ghost. A long way to go till that one.
I know that's like one of the last games. It's always downloaded on my computer.
I know it is.
Always.
I thought about playing it recently, and then I was like, I don't have time for that.
I know. I think about playing a lot of games. I've been really wanting to play like Waverly Academy lately.
It is that time of year.
It is that time of year. I haven't played that game in a really long time, and I remember a lot of it. I can't remember who did it and everything, but I just like that game. But Haunted Carousel, even though don't let the name Haunted Carousel fool you, it's not spooky at all.
I made her let me play this game. It was like my third Nancy Drew game ever. I made her let me play it. She was like, "No, it's not good. Don't play it." And I'm like, "No, I want to play it. You have to let me play it." And she's like, "Kelly, it's really not good. Like, don't." Don't. And I was like, "Riley, I love Carousel. It's like my favorite musical. Let me do Haunted Carousel. Come on." And she was like,
Okay. I know, this was when I went home for the weekend and I was planning on bringing back more Nancy Drew games. And you were like, "Can you bring me back Haunted Carousel?" And I was like, that was still when I used that like pink
thing.
CAD case to transport Nancy Drew games, because otherwise I would have to carry the boxes. And I was like, really? Like, I'm going to waste one of my spots in there for the carousel? And you were like, please, please, please. And I was like, okay, it's one game. I'll do it. And
it was bad.
And what were your thoughts?
It was bad. She was right. It wasn't what I wanted.
It's not good. It's another one that has like a lot of these older games. They have so much potential, but they're limited by the technology of the time.
This is a game that has so much potential, but your foot gets stuck under a track and the random number generator is different every time. So you just die over and over and over again until you get lucky.
Yep. And then you also have to interact with a character called Joy, who is joyless and sucks the life out of you every time you have to converse with her.
But then there's Miles, the amazing memory bot machine.
That was built by her father to make her more joyful, and it didn't work.
But it makes me more joyful.
I do love Miles. That's the best part of the game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other news, I have to tell you that, remember when I tried to get you to read Assistant to the Villain last summer and you didn't do it?
Yeah.
Accomplice to the Villain just came out. I read it in a day. It was incredible.
Was it?
It was so good. I don't know why you feel the need to read A Thorn of Corns and Roses when you could be reading The Fantasy Office, but...
I haven't read a single thing in a long time, but I have other things that I've been doing, so.
Additionally, Allie Carter put out another spy novel.
Oh, yeah?
The Blonde Who Came in from the Cold. And when she put out The Blonde Identity 3 summers ago, the inscription was, "To all the Gallagher girls, I'm so proud of you."
Aww.
So in this one, this is a sequel to The Blonde Identity, and her inscription was, "To all the little girls who wanted to be a spy when you grew up, you already are." And I was like,
aww. Like, that's so sweet.
I love the way that, like, it seems that Allie has decided she's not a young adult writer anymore. She's a writer for, like, my generation of women. Like,
yeah.
She was a writer for us when we were young adults, and now that we're adults, she's a writer. And so she, like, leaves these sweet messages to us as adults in her new books, and I think that that's really lovely.
That's really sweet.
And I finished The Wing Feathers, and I cried.
Dang, look at you.
Read a lot.
You're a reader.
I am. That is true. Also, my knitting skills are improving. Obviously, you can't see this right now, but
yeah.
Boom, bam, baby. When you don't watch this YouTube video later. Look at that. Incredible.
I'll be able to see it in person soon enough.
Yeah, you have to see me for the next 2 weeks in a row.
I know. And I'm very excited.
Although I don't really know if you're coming to see me that September week, because I think Sam's backing out, maybe? Is that what you got?
I know. I don't know what the deal. We'll message her today and figure it out.
I think she's bachelorette partying based on her Snapchat stories. I don't know.
Yeah. So she should be back at some point today. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, she was
We have a
headbanging
couple
last
weeks.
night.
What?
She was headbanging last night, it seemed.
I know. I know.
Anyway.
Uh,
All right.
well, if you're still here and you're having a great time, thank you for sticking around. And if you didn't have a great time and you don't know why you're still here, I don't know why you're here either. Because this wasn't for you. This was for us. And get out.
If you're still here and having a great time, hi, future me. How's your drive? Because I'm the only one who listens back to these.
Shout out to yourself.
Shout out to future me driving to work tomorrow on the first day of school. Woohoo.
Good luck to Callie on your first day of school. I'm rooting for you.
2025. Good luck. All right. See you in 2 months for the worst book club ever. Okay, bye.
Bye.